Hello my friends and welcome back to the rabbit hole. Today's video is going to be all about starting a skincare routine in your 30s and beyond. I'm so excited about doing this video. I got to thinking about it and realized, there's just so much information about skincare on the internet these days. But in today's video, we are going to do kind of one of those the truth about starting a skincare routine. Take away all of the fluff, just the reality of skincare. Like all my videos, there will be timestamps and links in the description box below if you want to jump around, and we're going to talk about how to approach skincare, what really matters in your skincare products, and finally a bit of a core skincare routine. So let's start out today's video with how to approach skincare. Now, because I'm framing this as a video for those who are 30 and up, I want to start this video by saying I think it's possible some amount of people may be here today because you looked in the mirror this morning and you thought, oh my God, why do I look so old? I very much understand that, but let me tell you, there are a lot of products on the market that are claiming to reverse the aging process. And I want to make this a realistic video, so the reality is I think you're going to have a lot more success with your skincare routine if rather than looking for ways to look younger, you look for ways to look your best no matter your age. It's kind of not that different from approaches to dieting, which I'm very familiar with because of my own field. You are going to be more successful if you decide to base your diet around health as opposed to around the concept of weight loss, right? It's kind of the same thing with skincare. If your goal is radiant, glowing, healthy skin, you can achieve that. If your goal is to look 20 even though you're 45, the reality is you may not achieve that. And in fact, I have some rather conflicted feelings on the entirety of the concept around anti-aging. Let's be clear about something here. Aging is a privilege that not every person is able to experience. Because we have that privilege, we can choose to respect our skin, to treat our skin right, to make sure that we are protecting our skin from the sun, to make sure that we are giving our skin the cleansers and moisturizers that it needs. And again, that's going to be the emphasis for this video. I hope that it helps you to again, have a more positive reinforcement type of approach versus a negative reinforcement. And then there's another really important question that you have to ask yourself before you even approach skincare, and that is, what will you be consistent with? I promised you I'm going to tell you some secrets about skincare, and let me tell you something. One of the best kept secrets of skincare is that consistency is one of the most important attributes in your skincare routine, not the cost of products. If you are somebody who is able to afford $300 products at every step in your routine, awesome. I hope you enjoy those. I hope you use Suisu. What? Sorry, I'm still me. I still love Suisu. I can't help it. But if you can't afford that, don't try to buy products that are beyond your means and stretch them out. Instead, find much more affordable products, use them every single day, and you will have better results than using those expensive products sporadically. I promise you that, because years and years ago when I got into skincare, I thought you had to use expensive products. These days, I use a lot of really inexpensive products that actually work out better for my skin. Next up, let's talk about what matters in your skincare products. And my first point here is, unsurprisingly, the ingredients. Here's another one of these secrets of the skincare industry. When it comes to ingredients, both drugstore and high-end products are very frequently using the exact same molecular structures in their products. L-ascorbic acid is always L-ascorbic acid regardless of whether you're buying it from SkinCeuticals or The Ordinary. My next note is formulation. That refers to the whole of the ingredients, because you're not going to buy a product that is just one ingredient. This is why the world of skincare can go so deep, because we just talked about ingredients that probably sounded like a lot. Now I'm saying what else it is paired with also matters. It seems like a lot, right? But the important thing to take home here is don't be afraid to try different products and find the ingredients and formulation that works for you. And number 3 is preference. I honestly feel like this one is often overlooked. It's kind of assumed a lot of the time that, if you have dry skin, you are going to want really heavy products. If you have oily skin, you're gonna want light products that feel like gels. But at the same time, I'm gonna tell you, I think it is very possible to have different preferences. I say this because I see it in my comment section all the time. In fact, my own partner has dry skin and yet only likes to use gel moisturizers and products that she cannot feel on her skin. This is why I really think if you're new to skincare, one of your best bets is going to be to buy sampler sets. I don't necessarily mean tiny samples. I think you need enough to figure out what works for you over a longer period of time. But, products that will last you for a couple of weeks so you can see what they're doing for your skin and decide if that's the product that you want to buy in a full size or not. Can I sprinkle a little bit of controversy into this video? Do you want to really quickly talk about fragrance? I promise to tell you the truth about skincare, and so the truth about fragrance is some people find they do better with avoiding or at least limiting the amount of fragrance in their skincare routine, perhaps because they have mild allergies or simply because they react to those ingredients, while others like a little bit of fragrance and find that it helps motivate them to use their skincare products. Fragrance can be okay in skincare. Insert the always has been meme. Yeah, it works for some people. And that is a golden rule of skincare. When I've brought that up in the past, I've had some comments saying, oh no, Alice, don't say things like that because then companies are gonna stop making fragrance-free products. I absolutely think we are so far beyond that. Companies are never gonna stop making fragrance-free products because some of us, a good chunk of the skincare community, actually needs that. There's money in fragrance-free skincare. Enough said. So now let's chat about your core skincare routine. And for this section, I did my best to grab different products by preference as well as by price point, but I've got a little bit of everything, so let's just chat about the different categories. So of course, you're gonna start your routine with a cleanser. Cleanser is something that when I first got into skincare, I really didn't think it was that important. I was thinking, it's just on your skin for a couple of minutes. How big of a deal can it be? But after really getting into skincare, I am forced to realize that it makes a tremendous difference. It makes a tremendous difference in your routine, and I absolutely believe the most important attribute to look for in a cleanser is one that you will enjoy using every single day and that is gentle on your skin. Let's take a look at some of the options you have for cleansers in this more of a comparative sense. By the way, I'm not going to focus too heavily on these products, but if you are interested, I will link them in the description box below. Of course, I did go ahead and select some of my favorites for the purposes of today's video. First things first, I want to talk about gel cleansers, which I think are probably the most popular, recognizable category of cleansers. There are a ton of gel cleansing options on the market, and all of them are fairly similar in that they apply, as you might expect, as a gel, and they tend to have some amount of foaming as you add water to them. This one doesn't foam up too much, which means it's going to be a little bit more gentle. Some of them foam up a whole lot. A bit of a polar opposite to gel cleansers are cream cleansers. Keep something in mind, gel products are often ideally designed for oily skin and cream products for dry skin. So you'll immediately notice that this cream cleanser looks like it's more of a moisturizer, and that's what it feels like to use. It's almost a moisturizing cleanser, non-stripping, very gentle, and great for both dry skin as well as sensitive skin. And we already settled on this video being controversial when I said fragrance isn't necessarily the devil, so let's talk really quickly about exfoliating cleansers. For years, it seemed that people thought all exfoliating cleansers were literally St. Ives apricot scrub, and yes, I did use literally correctly. No, they are certainly not. There's many options out there that can be much more gentle. You'll notice that this one is just made from some fruit seeds. It feels very, very gentle, and yet it does give you physical exfoliation. The reason I wanted to put this into a beginner's skincare video is because I wouldn't actually recommend you run out and start with chemical exfoliators. You might want to work your way into those, but they can be very intense. Physical exfoliators, no matter how bad their name has become, can actually be a really good way to exfoliate without introducing too many actives into a routine. And really quickly, if you're somebody who wears makeup, you may find you need a little bit more in your cleansing step. There's a whole world of makeup removers. If you're interested in more info, I have an entire video on them. Next up is moisturizer. Regardless of your skin type, oily or dry, you need a moisturizer. And the reason for this is because moisturizer locks in water. So you have to find a moisturizer that is right for your skin type and your preferences, comfortable enough for you to wear every day, that will help with fighting that. I grabbed products from the two main categories here, being a gel and a cream. You remember from our cleanser section that that's often seen as the oily and dry skin designation. So first of all, these gel products, these are going to be much more lightweight on your skin. They're going to kind of just disappear into your skin as soon as you apply them. Very easy to work with, but possibly not enough for drier skin types, or again, for more sensitive skin. You also may need a heavier cream. The catch with cream is you're going to feel it more on your skin. Maybe you can tell that even just from the appearance of it. They're much thicker products. Again, ideal for dry skin, but if you have oily skin or if you don't like the feel of moisturizer, you may not love a cream. Now note, there's no day and night products here, because the reality is you don't necessarily need a separate day or night moisturizer. That's the kind of stuff you're sold early in your skincare journey. Trust me, you don't necessarily need it. Your skin cannot tell the difference between products being labeled for day or for night use. And the third critical step in a skincare routine is, of course, sunscreen. This step is definitely where we could spend the most time talking about sunscreen and sunscreen ingredients. It's a very long conversation, but do you want to have the more condensed version? I do. In choosing a sunscreen, there really is a lot to consider, but most importantly, you're going to want to look for at least an SPF of 30. That's an ideal level if you're somebody who is indoors for most of the day, but you walk to and from your car. If you work outside or if you use a lot of actives, you may want to go for an SPF of 50. In all cases, you want broad spectrum, but don't worry too much about that. Most respectable sunscreens are going to have broad spectrum protection, which protects you from both UVA as well as UVB. Then there are two main types, the chemical and mineral. Don't worry too much about the word chemical. Everything's a chemical, including technically the names of the mineral filters used. But mineral sunscreens are often recommended for sensitive skin, and that's simply because they seem to cause less irritation overall. But it is mineral filters that have a bad reputation for leaving a white cast and also for feeling more drying. As for chemical filters, the reality is if you can use them, enjoy them. They are much easier to apply. You will not have to spend as much time buffing them into your skin as a mineral sunscreen, and often you don't have to pay as much money as you would for a kind of more decent mineral sunscreen. By the way, I'm saying all this with a hint of bitterness because I cannot use traditional US chemical sunscreens, which is why I want to make sure to include a Japanese sunscreen in this video. In fact, my all-time favorite. See the video in the corner of the screen if you want more info. This is why a lot of people have started importing sunscreens, because admittedly they're a lot less expensive and yet so much more beautiful than pretty much anything the US offers. This one right here, you'd never know. This is an SPF 50, but it uses those new filters, which in the way they act is almost more of a blend of how chemical and mineral filters actually work. Just remember, the best sunscreen is the one that you will wear. It may take you some trial and error to find your favorite. It certainly did for me, but again, it is the most important step in a skincare routine. Because this video is all about a 30+ skincare routine, I am going to add in one additional and optional category of a retinoid product. Often in the form of a serum, which is a concentrated treatment, but not necessarily all of the time. Now, one thing I will tell you about the retinoid family is that it can be strong. A lot of people prefer to very gently ease themselves into this category with a product like the Good Molecules Gentle Retinol Cream. Of course, what I love about this one is the transparency of how much actual retinol is in this product. And then the one that I used, a brand new tube because I'm sticking with it, this is the La Roche-Posay Effaclar Adapalene 0.1% acne treatment. This is not a retinol product, but instead this is a retinoid. And please remember something really, really important today. This combination right here, a sunscreen and a retinoid product, this is a fantastic research-backed approach to fighting the signs of aging. If you are looking for anti-aging skincare, you are gonna have so many companies selling you all kinds of different ideas, and there may be some validity to them. Some people may see great results from them, but this is where the research is. And for this reason, I'm stopping this video here because I think that this is all you need for a basic starter routine. And if you do want to continue to explore more options in skincare, you can. You can build from here. Another secret, your skin will probably look worse if you dive into 20 products all at once than if you stick with 4 products and build instead. And that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. As always, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, whether you're new to skincare or whether you watched this out of a supporting the channel type of way. Thank you. I see you all. Thank you. Let me know if you think I did a good job of outlining how to start a skincare routine. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Make sure to like and subscribe on your way out, and I will see you all next time.